Have you ever heard of this concept? Ikigai. If you are wandering around like looking for what you truly want to do, and if you're not sure about your purpose, but you still want to find your passion, your Ikigai, you found the best video. This is Japanese concept for how to live your life purposefully and meaningfully. A couple years ago when COVID-19 pandemic happened, a lot of people were started to work remotely. More people like wandered around like what they want to do with their life. For those who don't know the concept of Ikigai is consists of 4 elements: what you love, what you're good at, what you're paid for, what the world needs. If you combine these 4 elements into one, you'll be able to find your purpose, your Ikigai. This concept looks very simple. Like if you find these 4 categories, like you can just find this Ikigai, right? A lot of people were amazed by how incredible this concept is. I was also super impressed when I found out this concept. I felt like I can finally figure out what I truly want to do. That's when I was a university student. I was looking for a job and tried to understand myself more. I tried to like write down what I'm passionate about, like what I'm interested in, what I'm good at, what the world needs. Even though I spent so much time, I wasn't able to find out what I truly want to do. I'm sure there are so many people like who are still trying to find out what you truly want to do. I've read tons of other Japanese books and now I was able to find out what was room for improvement with this concept. And now at the moment, I'm doing exactly what I truly want to do and I feel excitement about every single morning. I don't feel any like negative feelings about my job or work that I'm doing right now. So in this video, I'm going to be talking about how we can improve this concept of Ikigai and how you can find your passion, your purpose for living. Now, I'm going to be explaining the problems with the concept of Ikigai according to what I learned from this book. There's only Japanese edition of this book, so I'll try to translate this book and tell you what this book is trying to tell us as much as possible. The first problem is what we love. The author of the book told us that what we love is not something that we can find, it's something that we cultivate from interest. If we focus on trying to find what we love or what we're passionate about, it's not possible. Some of you guys probably have already something that you can passionate about, but if you're passionate about something, like you are not watching this video, right? So you might be having a hard time understanding your passion, but try to understand that passion is actually not something you find. Passion is what you cultivate from your interest and your dedication to the thing. For example, now I'm passionate about this English language and I'm teaching this English language to Japanese people. Teaching English to Japanese students is my passion right now. However, this passion is not something that I found. This is something that I cultivated. Like back when I was in high school, I was not really good at speaking English. I couldn't even imagine like me speaking in front of the camera in English. What I'm trying to say is you don't have to feel any pressure about finding your passion. Instead, feel free to explore your interest. Everyone has something that they are just genuinely interested in. Like for example, like what was the thing that you were always doing when you were in your childhood? What you do when you are alone outside of work when you have nothing to do? Or what's that thing that you want to do but you haven't done for a while? This question will help you to find out what you are interested in. It doesn't have to be something that you have already spent time with at all. This is the first misunderstanding that we tend to have when you heard of the word passion. It's totally okay to cultivate your passion from this interest. This Ikigai concept is not something that we can find immediately after we put some thoughts on it. This is the first misunderstanding that I wanted to point out according to the information that I found on this Japanese book. So the second one is what you are good at. The problem is we have to divide this concept into 2 words. First is skills, second is talent. In order to find what you're passionate about, what you're good at, you want to find your talent, not your skills. So what's the difference between skills and talent? Talent is something that you originally have since when you are born, since when you are in your childhood. This is something that you do without thinking about it. This is something that you do even if other people didn't ask you to do so. On the other hand, skills is what you didn't have originally. Skills is what you have to cultivate by putting some time and effort. For example, accounting skill. This is not talent. I studied accounting back when I was in university and I worked for an accounting firm for a while. I passed CPA exams. I do think that I have a certain knowledge of accounting and certain skills in accounting field. However, this is not what I can call talent, because this is what I was not originally good at. This is what I have been cultivating, putting some time and effort. My talent, I would say, is organizing skills. I'm pretty good at organizing things and people and money stuff. I held an international event inviting people who are interested in mindfulness, and I was able to hold this international event, and I think I'm good at organizing things. I didn't try to get this skill. I have been doing it very effortlessly. I never tried to regard it as my skill. In addition to it, skills is not as versatile as talent. For example, English, for some people in some market, this is regarded as a skill in Japan because not a lot of people speak English in Japan. If you work, for example, international corporation, or if you work as an English teacher, you can use this skill. However, if you work at a local company as a salesperson, you never have opportunities to use English at work. On the other hand, being open-minded to new things, you're curious about new things, this is a talent. And if you are curious about new things, you are willing to learn new things, whether you work as an English teacher or local salesperson, you can apply it to both situations. So this is now another difference between skills and talent. Because, as I told you, talent is something that you do without thinking about it. You do it effortlessly. It's more fun, or it's more just natural when you do it. If you cultivate this talent into your strength, you'll be able to provide a lot of values on society. It's gonna be regarded as what you're good at. And if you combine this what you're good at and what you love, which is cultivated from your interest, you'll be able to find your passion. This is the second problem that I wanted to mention according to the book that I read in Japanese. This is the last problem about this concept of Ikigai. There are two other categories. One is what the world needs and what you're paid for. If you try to think about these two components, when you think about your passion, what you love and what you're good at, you tend to think about things according to from the past experience. You are going to limit your potential, because if you have to think about what the world needs and then what you paid for financially, you tend to think about things very logically or safely or in a conventional way. But that's not what you want to do with this stage. When I first found out this concept, I thought teaching is my passion because I love teaching and I thought I'm good at teaching. I naturally thought I should become a teacher, but teaching is not really high-paying job, especially if you work in a public school. Teachers are not paid very highly, and then you have to work hard, especially in Japan. This is a little bit off topic, but in Japan, it's one of the big problems. Less number of people want to become teacher than before. Because of teaching job is not really high paying job and you have to work a lot, very hard. This is news talking about this problem in Japan. I thought even though I'm passionate about teaching, I'm not really confident if I can feel satisfied with this profession. So I decided not to go into this teaching profession, and instead I decided to go into accounting profession because I thought that I could earn more. Accounting profession is a high-paying job in Japan. If you combine this language skill, English language skill, and accounting skill in Japan, you'll be able to land in a very high-paying job. That's what I thought. But when I think about decision back then, I didn't have any personal attachments to this profession. I didn't have any reasons why I wanted to go in this path. So people tend to think very logically or think about feasibility when you try to find your Ikigai using these two categories at the same time. So this is the third problem with this Ikigai concept. What do we do instead? I just mentioned all the problems, I just mentioned all the problems about this Ikigai concept. So that might be your question you're having right now. So let me talk about that then. If you do what I'm going to tell from now, I'm sure you'll be able to find your Ikigai, what you truly want to do with your life, and you can live your life very meaningfully and purposefully. Alright, so let's dive into the first one. The first alternative. As I told you in the first problem, you want to find your interest instead of your love. What you can do is to ask these questions to find your interest. These questions are something that I use in order to find my interest. When you do so, try to focus on your interest. Please do not feel any pressure about finding your love. You don't have to have your love right now. You don't have to have your passion now. You can just find your interest. That's it. Try to put some time and effort into your interest. As time goes, that thing you found as your interest is gonna be your passion. There are so many things or questions that you can use in order to find your interest, but for starters, you can ask these 3 questions. Please do not just listen to what I'm going to say. Please try to write these things down on your paper or on your phone. If you cannot do that, I highly recommend you to watch this video later, and then you can use your time after preparing your paper or your phone to write your thoughts down. Please watch this video. Let me ask you these 3 questions. The first one is, what kind of problems do you find when you think about yourself, your family, and the company you're working for? The reason why this question is very effective when you want to find this interest is because when you feel problem with something, certain thing, you have natural interest, genuine interest about it. If you hope that there should be some improvement about it, that means you're naturally drawn to it, right? So you want to ask yourself, what kind of problems do you see when you think about yourself and family and the company that you're working for or school that you go to? The answers that I came up with is in Japan, there are so many people like who are not actually doing what they truly want to do because they tend to feel the pressure from parents and society and everything. I really feel a lot of problems with this situation, so I really want to change this situation. So that's what I felt when I answered this question. Another answer that I came up with was that there is a word called tatemae and honne in Japanese. Honne is what you are really thinking. Tatemae is what you say instead of telling the truth. What you say to make people around you not feel offended. Because of this culture, because of this word, there are a lot of people like who don't say what they are really thinking about. Especially when you are in a work situation, like when you work with your boss. Even if your boss you don't want to say what you're thinking about because like you are gonna be judged by the boss, and there's gonna be a rumor about you actually took action toward your boss, and everyone is going to laugh about you or something. Like, this is just an assumption, but that's the reason why Japanese people don't really say what they're actually thinking about to friends, to boss, to a family or anything. And I really feel this situation is like, I'm not saying like completely wrong, because sometimes there's a time that you shouldn't say what you are actually thinking about a person, but sometimes you gotta be honest, with your feelings in order to protect yourself, in order to protect your friends. I think there's a little room for improvement for Japanese people, like how to communicate. Try to think of what you are naturally regard as a problem when you think about your family, yourself, and society. The next question that I highly recommend you to ask yourself is, what's the concept, genre, or publication that you are very grateful finding? This question is also very useful because you want to find what you are naturally like is something that puts a lot of value on your life, that change your life a lot. If you're grateful for that certain thing, you naturally are interested in those fields. So for me, what I'm grateful for is like teaching. I'm grateful for having my teacher back when I was in primary school. His name is Suzuki-san. He gave me a little confidence in myself. I was able to study a lot because of his teaching. His teaching method was very interesting, and I think I wasn't able to feel very interested about this study, everything without him. So I'm grateful for his existence. So I'm grateful for teaching. Second is English. I'm grateful for encountering this English language and studying this English language, because without this language, I'm not being able to convey my thoughts internationally and globally. I cannot do what I'm doing right now. So, and then I'm really enjoying this process about studying English, and I'm really enjoying this meeting now with people from a totally different background. It really helped me to polish my values and what I'm thinking about things. I'm very grateful for having these opportunities to learn English and use English. And another one is coaching. Last year, I took a life coaching lesson. Before taking that lesson, I really felt suspicious about this concept of life coaching, to be honest. But after taking it, it literally changed my life and literally helped me to be honest with my feelings. I literally able to find what I truly wanted to do, from the bottom of my heart. And without this life coaching or this my coach help, I don't think I'm where I'm at So I'm really grateful for the fact that I met the person who is a life coaching. So it's like this. It can be anything. The last question you want to use in order to find your interest is, when you go to bookstore or library, what kind of books are you naturally drawn? I actually done it, and I was able to like find the books or genres that I was naturally drawn to. I didn't really think this is gonna be my interest, but like my eyes naturally go there without thinking about it. So, and then this is also related to interest a lot because you're naturally drawn to it. So you want to do it as well if you have time to go to bookstore or library nearby. Let's move on to the second step, which is about what you are good at, what you're good at. You can ask yourself these 3 questions. And these 3 questions also are very, very effective. Please answer these questions while writing your thoughts down on your paper. Alright, the first one is, what kind of things do you do without thinking about it, unconsciously? To make it easier for you to like answer these questions, let me share my answers to this question. The first one is, I tend to look at things in the big picture. I tend to question everything, even if that thing is regarded as now common thing. I tend to think things logically. So these are the like 3 tendencies that I have. Next question is now, what are you annoyed by other people or other people's actions? And this question is very effective as well, because what you are annoyed by others tend to be something that you can do naturally. If you can do certain thing very naturally, and if that thing is something that other people cannot do naturally, you feel like annoyed because that's natural for you, right? Like for example, I told you that I tend to think things logically, so when I see conversations that doesn't go logically, I tend to be annoyed by that. Or if I see parents like forcing children to do something or not to do something, like I tend to feel annoyed because like they should let children do whatever they try to do. It could be anything, like try to think what you are annoyed. You are watching me right now, right? Why you are annoyed by me? Why you are annoyed by me speaking in front of you? Try to come up with the reasons why you are annoyed by me, okay? And then by thinking about this, like you'll be able to find your talent. Last question that you want to ask yourself is now, what kind of things have you been warned with by your parents or by your teacher? In school, I was told by my teacher or by my parents that I need to rush myself more, that I need to be in a rush. I'm always in my pace to do whatever I want to do. I tend to schedule things in my own time schedule. Some people said to me that I might always stick with my own schedule, and some people don't like it. Like that actually can be regarded as talent, because if you take a look at things in the opposite way, I'm kind of person who is consistent with my time schedule. So like if I have decided this is what I want to do, I'm all in with it. This is how you take things. Like I'm not really detail-oriented person. So for those who are detail-oriented, like I'm very annoying, I guess. On the other hand, I like to create a story in a big picture. So like this, like try to remember what your teacher, your friends, your people around you warned you about before. This is the last very effective question that you can use in order to find your talent. After answering these 6 questions, finding your interest and your talent, you are going to cultivate those talents and interests by putting time and effort. You'll be able to finally find your passion. About the last problem that I mentioned, there is a problem with having what the world needs and what you're paid for while thinking about your passion. Let's try to not think about things. Not at all when you think about your passion, okay? Just try to come up with your passion first, and after finding your passion, the combination about what you are naturally drawn to do, I mean your talent, your love, after combining these two, you are going to think about how to make a living with it, how to make a value with your passion. And the way to do so is now there's always information out there on the internet, or there's always people in the world who are actually doing what you are passionate about. My passion is to coach people like how to study English and help people how to find what they truly want to do with their life. And after finding this passion, like I looked for the way to how to make a living with my passion using this internet, because we are living in this digitalized world, so it's very easy for us to find it, how to do it this kind of information, it's not something that you try to find internally within yourself. It's something that you can look for outside of the world. So at first, we should all focus on finding our passion. And after that, after finding those two internally, by reflecting on your past, by reflecting on what you do on a daily basis, you're going to look for how to realize that, how to make a living with it outside of the world. There are a lot of people who are going to help you with it. There are a lot of information, a lot of people who are going to help you with achieving what you truly want to do with your life. So I think that this video is pretty long, so I'm going to finish this video for today, but I'm going to tell you more things, more information about how to find what you're interested in, what you truly want to do with your life with the next video upcoming. So please stay tuned if you want to find your talent and if you want to realize how to make it possible. I'm really grateful for the fact that you watched this video until the end. If you need more help from me closely, I'm providing this self-understanding coach, and if you're interested in these things, please apply from the link below. We can do the Zoom meeting, and then I'll be able to assist for you to find what you truly want to do with your life. Alright, thanks so much for watching this video until then. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.